everyone, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see from what is in front of me here, today we're gonna do some oil pastels again. It's been a while since I've last done some oil pastels. I think I've only done it twice on my channel, but since then I've grown a bit my collection. So I have those from Mungyo Gallery soft oil pastels, and I got their 36 sets. And oil pastels are kind of a nasty business because once you get some colors, you really want some more colors. So, you know, it's hard. It's hard to stop yourself here. But those are the colors I have, and as you can see, they're already used. Because even if I've not filmed, I've continued to do quite a lot of oil pastels. Not as much as I would like to, but still some. And yeah, I really like those. They're a bit on the harder, not on the softer side. They're a bit hard, let's say, but they're really nice to create some details and to make them first layers. Then I have those Caran Neo Pastel. They're a bit, in my opinion, they're a bit similar to the Gallery Mungyo, but more expensive and a bit smaller. But there are also some colors, because the Mungyo until now I could only order them online and I couldn't get like just one color. I'm not sure if they're available yet, but I could only get sets. And I could only get them on Amazon. I don't really like ordering on Amazon. I prefer to go to my local art store, and they didn't have them. But since beginning of this year, they now have them, so maybe I will be able to get some more at my local art store. But at the local art store, they had some Sennelier and they had some Caran and some other brands, but that I don't really like because they don't blend well and they're a bit lower quality, and I prefer not to use them anymore. But yeah, those are some Caran, and for Caran I just take whatever color I feel I need because they have a really large selection of colors and it complements well the other sets I have. So basically I take sets and then I take Caran to fill in the gaps in a way in the sets, because they have a bit more very light and very dark colors, I feel, which I really like to use. So those three here are like my light colors, and I have some more warm and some colder tones here. And then I have this one here, which is just an accent color, a fun turquoise green. And then I have some darker colors with this dark green, dark brown, and violet. So yeah, that's something. Then those were the first Sennelier oil pastels I got. This was just the primary set, or like the beginner's territory. I don't remember how it was called. I love their white, and yeah, it's shrinking quite quickly. The Sennelier are really soft ones, so they are very creamy, and I love that their consistency, and the fact that they are so creamy means that I can put this white on top of basically anything. Whereas with the more, like with this one, it's the Mungyo one, it's a little bit harder, and then I cannot put it on top of other layers without scraping the underneath layers. So that's why I really like this white to put on top of things. And those I use a lot for accent when I need to go on top of stuff. I mean, I also use them for the base layers, but this is just a gift I made to myself. Those are the landscape colors of Sennelier, the landscape set, and I just love them. They have a lot of muted tones, which I really love, and it allows me just to build up different colors. So they have different blues, and I love this blue, as you may see here. I used it quite a lot. They have very dark blues. They have beautiful greens here. Some are very, very powerful in color, but overall I love them. And then here are more muted, earthy tones. Like, it's just right up my alley. I love the muted colors, and yeah, I love this set. And lately, okay, so I'm just gonna put this little basket aside. And when I got these new colors, I also got this pastel set. So this is paper for all pastels. It has a little bit of tooth, and it also comes with these sheets of crystal paper in between the different sheet of paper, because as you may know, all pastels never dry, so they can transfer, so it's nice to have something to protect. So this is the landscape I've done when I first received the set, just to see how my landscape colors worked and how all the colors worked together. And I love all the different shades of green I could create here. And yeah, it's very abstract. The paper has a lot of tooth, so I couldn't feel every white place. But it was very meditative and very nice to create this. It's basically lots of blobs of colors, but I think it looks great from a distance. It was very enjoyable to create anyway. So I want to do another landscape today with my old pastels. So I'm gonna do it here. I'm gonna put this like that and hope my table is, yeah, like so. And I have all of my colors around me. So I have those here. I have those here, I have my Mungyo on the side here, and I have my other Senneliers here. And I'm just gonna grab also my, how you call that? My swatches, because I think with all pastels it can be a bit hard just based on the color of the stick to know how it will look on the paper, because sometimes it's way more, it's way stronger than what you can imagine. So I have here all of my old pastel swatches. So those are the Mungyo, those are the Sennelier and the Caran in here. So I'm gonna keep this also around me so that I can just check, especially for the greens, because the greens can be quite intense. And this here is just my little box of reference photos. So I'm gonna choose one landscape that I want to paint with my old pastels. I don't want something with too many details, because I want to focus on the colors and the, I think I'm gonna go with this one here. Just grab my attention. And I need to buy some more of this because it's super convenient to see better the values. I'm gonna put this to the side here. It's very convenient to just see the values of something and not the colors, and not be distracted by the colors. But I only have this tiny piece, and I tried to find some, but I just couldn't find any here. I don't know where to find it. But anyway, and one advice that I received when it comes to painting with oil pastels is to don't focus on the details, but like just not create every details, but just how do you call that? Think about the details in a way. It's like you don't have to put in every detail, you just can allude to the details. So I'm gonna start with this sky blue. I love this sky blue. I think it's really the perfect sky blue. And I'm gonna put this here. So I always start with old pastels by doing the bigger shapes in a way. So I just start with thinking about where will everything be, and kind of putting the base color for every part of the painting. So this would be my water here, this would be my sky, and then here would be the beach, and here would be the trees. So really just the base colors. And then I fill it in with my base color. So the basic shape and the base color. And I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use this. And I didn't take anything to actually... Oh, it's raining. Hope the sound won't be too bad. It was supposed to be very sunny today, and I got out in the morning, and I think it was lucky because it started raining on my way back. But I try to go out every day. I think it's just better for my mental health. And yeah, whatever. So let's put some more blue here. And the thing is also, once you filled in all the cracks of the paper, you cannot really layer on top anymore because it has nothing to, the color has nothing to grab onto. So it becomes harder to layer the colors. And I'm still trying to figure out the best way of layering and how to actually get to the color I want to get to create the color I want to. Because at some point I feel I'm just putting some more color on top and it doesn't change anything anymore. So yeah, it takes a lot of practice, I feel, with this medium to actually create the effects you want to create and get the finished look you want to get. I can't really predict right now how things are going to turn out. I'm still very much in an experimenting mode where I'm trying to see what works and what doesn't work, and what I can layer on top of what, and what type of effect does it create, and all of that. So this video is a lot about taking you on this journey, and hopefully you can learn also some interesting stuff on how to use your oil pastels. And I've also done in the past a video on how to use bad quality oil pastels and how to help it sink into the paper a bit more, because that was an issue I had with my bad quality of oil pastels, because it was very waxy and I couldn't really get it onto the paper. And I used a palette knife to actually help me with that, and I have a whole video about that. So if you're interested into using oil pastels, but you don't have such creamy oil pastels, you feel free to check out this video. I will link it in the description, and maybe you will find some interesting insights on how you can use these things. But I think oil pastels really require a lot of trying and messing around and trying again and all of that. Is it the right one? No. Where is it? I'm trying to find a color, but it just, oh, it's this one, I think. I just can't get in. Is it this one? Who are you? Who are you, little color? No, that's the gray green. Where is my phthalo green light? That's crazy. That's the chromium. I'm getting very confused with my colors. I feel I think that I've mislabeled one. Yeah, okay, I've mislabeled one of my swatch sheets and it got me really confused. I'm putting a little bit of green here just to change the color of my blue, but I think actually I need more ochre and chromium brown and stuff like that, because this place here, no, it's even more. Let's start with this pastel here. Yeah, this one will work really well. This one is beige clair, and I really love this color as a base color for my warm tones, because I can always build on top with other colors, but it just gives such a nice warm tone. And I say warm compared to this here, which is, I'm going to put a little bit, as you can see, it's much more blue leaning, and this is the light gray. This one is more brown leaning. So same here where the trees are. I'm going to put some more colors on top, but I just start with this base layer and then a tiny bit also of raw umber, I'd say, just to have these variations of colors. And here it's gonna be actually more cool colors just around the corner here. And yeah, something I wanted to say is it's very useful also to have some blending tools when you're doing some oil pastels. I didn't take any with me right now because I forgot when I started this video, but it's something I will usually have at hand when I'm doing these sorts of work with oil pastels. And if you would like to see more videos of oil pastels, please feel free to let me know in the comments, and I can share some more tips when it comes to creating landscapes with oil pastels, which is what I do most, landscape painting. There are some amazing YouTube channels where they show how they create some portraits in oil pastels. This is something I've never tried, but it's really wonderful to see what they're doing with that. So yeah, there are more and more. At some point I had the feeling there was absolutely no help when you were trying to make oil pastels on YouTube, but there are more and more artists and channels showing how to use oil pastels, which I think is really great to help people start with oil pastels. Because honestly, when I started with oil pastels, I had no idea how to use them and what to do, and I felt like there was really little help out there at the time. But that has gone way better. So as you can see now, I'm basically layering colors and just trying to achieve something that I like with all these colors. And I think oil pastels is really a lot about layering and layering and layering, and putting one color on top of the other, and just changing a little bit the temperature of your color with putting a little bit more warm colors or cold colors here and there, and see how it impacts your whole painting. So this is what I'm doing right now. And this is a very messy part of the painting where you don't really know how the whole thing will look like. And also, as you can see, I'm not following completely the colors I see on the painting. I just want to add a bit more interest and variety in my colors. So I'm playing a bit with the colors here. And something that is quite important also, and I tend not to do so, is to change the direction of your lines depending on what you're trying to create, because otherwise it all kind of looks the same. And I think it's really nice when you can put some variety. And something I do also with oil pastels is, I like the texture of oil pastel, but sometimes I like to have a bit more of a smoother finish, like on the sky here, and I will use my white to kind of smoothen out the area I want to smooth out, if that makes sense. And it's a little bit similar to what you would do with colored pencils, where you, how you call that? Where you use your colored pencil and you kind of go into the paper to really have a smoother finish. I don't remember the word, how you call that. But it's a bit similar what I'm doing here. But then, just like with colored pencil, when you're doing that, you cannot really build layers anymore. I'm sorry for my broken English these days. I'm a bit tired, and when I'm tired, I struggle finding words in my own language, and in other language it's even worse. I like the sound of rain on the windows. I'm on my winter garden right now, and the light is beautiful first, and also I have this really nice soothing sound of the rain, which is super nice. I hope you hear it, but it's not like disturbing, and you can also enjoy it. And yeah, for everyone that is new here, I'm Joanna and I'm a self-taught artist. I do videos every 2 weeks or so on YouTube where I share my journey as a self-taught artist here. And I love to paint landscapes in various media. So here you can see me using all pastels, but I also paint with watercolors, with gouache, with acrylics. And I love to dabble in different things and try out, different medium. So if that sounds interesting, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to make sure that you can see my future videos and that you receive notification whenever I post a new video. And if you have ideas of anything you would like me to tackle here on YouTube, please feel free to share too, because I have a lot of videos ideas, but I'm always happy to try out new things following your suggestions. So please feel free to share your suggestions in the comment section. So yeah, as you can see, it's a lot of layering and layering and layering, but it's starting to get somewhere that I like. I'm gonna take my paper sticks just to help blend things a bit more, because there is some disturbing whites that I don't want to keep. So I have this pack of blending sticks here, and I'm just gonna, ooh, they're going everywhere, oh gosh. I'm just gonna take a small one here and start blending a little bit my water, because it's good that there are some white parts of the water, but I just don't want these weird small dots everywhere. I think there are a little bit too many of them. And this tortillon or blending stump, you can use whatever, it just helps to move a bit the oil pastel around and to help it fill in the teeth of the paper a bit more. But you need to already have a fairly big amount of oil pastel on your paper to be able to do that. If you don't have enough, you won't have anything to move around, and then you cannot really do that. And you don't have to fill in everything. I think the white is also a really nice texture added to your painting, but I just feel there is a little bit too much, which allows me to build a lot of the layers, but then I also struggle to have a clean finish at the end. So that's why I'm using a little bit these tortillons to fill in some of these gaps here. And I really love all the different colors that you can see on the water. I think that's the really nice part with water, that it's so full of different colors. And with all pastels, I'm definitely not going realistic, as you can see, but I think it's a really fun medium to try out, to be playful with colors, and maybe it will give you ideas also. It will give you ideas of how you can use these colors with other media afterwards, and play with those. So that's something I really like about all pastels. It's just a very fun way of experimenting. Okay, I'm gonna add a bit more yellow here. Okay, and then work a bit more on these things, just to give a vague impression of trees in the background. like I say, it's a lot about alluding to details, not showing every details. So I think I'm good with the water for now. And now I'm gonna focus a little bit more on the on the shore. So for the base layer, I kind of like how the base layer is looking out for the water, for the shore already. I like the tones that are used, and I like how it turned out. I want it to be less smooth than the water, because it's more, there is more texture on the shore in real life also. I'm going to use this really dark one just to create some shadows, some stronger shadows for the trees in the foreground first, and for this block of rocks here, just to define a bit more their shape. And then put also some rocks in the water and everywhere here. Okay, that's nice. And just maybe a dark gray for these rocks again. A little bit of those colors here. I think the more colors you add, the more natural, not natural, but the closer it is to the look I want to have for this one here today. So I'm really playing around with the different colors and the different temperatures of colors here. And I just need something a bit darker for those here. And here I'm really struggling to get the color down with my Sennelier, whereas my Mungyo work really well. So it's completely the opposite to what I was saying before, which is weird. And now I'm using this to kind of scrape to create branches and to create tree trunks and stuff. So you can also use a palette knife for that, but I have this at hand, so I'm just going to use this one here. And I want to add a bit more bluish things here to the background, just to add a bit more coolness here to this area. And on top of the branches too, like so. And then I want to add these long shadows, and I'm gonna add them first with this blue here, with this green, with this gray, oh gosh. Because I think they really are what gives the whole interest to the scene here. So I want to capture all these really long autumn shadows on the ground here. And I'm gonna darken them a little bit at their base here. And maybe even add a tiny bit of dark blue. then with this here, I'm gonna blend it out a bit, smoothen it out, like so. Okay. So I think that's it for this one here today. Maybe just darken a little bit this place here. Oh, the sun is coming back. Darken some of those and smoothen out. My tortillon is too new, it's not working the way I want it to work right now. But it's okay, I can always go back on top afterwards if need be. I'm just adding a bit more texture to this ground here. And yeah, that's it. This is a very quick landscape with all pastels, using my new colors. And I really hope that it inspired you to take out your old pastels and to give them a try for landscapes, because I think they are so much fun for landscape, and they're just a very free and very low pressure way of creating some landscapes and playing out with different compositions and colors for landscapes. So I'm looking forward to filling this whole pad with different funny and crazy landscapes like this one. So this is the one I did today, and this was the other one I did, so a night scene. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!